Go ahead.
Ready and fire? Good morning. I'm LJ Lawton with Alpha Systems. We're in Elkhart, Indiana. And we are manufacturers and suppliers of membrane roof systems to the RV industry. Our roof system these days that is on this roof on your units is called Superflex. I've been with Alpha 26 years and in the industry over 30. And when I first came into the RV industry, they used to have a bunch of rafters on towable products, and they would stretch metal across all these rafters, bang the edge over the side, fasten it, and put all the components on top, and the roof was all ripply all the way down. And RV roofing has come a long way. Now it's a full deck roof. This membrane is adhered to that wood deck. We sell a complete package system with regard to the membrane. It's a roof system. Involved in that is the roofing membrane, the adhesive that holds it down, and the butyl tapes and the self-leveling and non-static sealants that all make up the roof system. I'll have the guys out here today. This system does have a 12-year warranty. And on here is and most of you have taken these sheets, and that's great. But there is a feature and benefits portion here that I'd like to go over. And before I do that, there's kind of been an advent in membrane roofing over the years. The gentleman that started our company really brought EPDM rubber roofing from the commercial market into the RV industry. And back in the 70s and 80s, when RVs were built, most of the roofs were flat. And they were probably never flatter than the day they were made. So as the unit aged, air conditioners and things get put on top, the roof would tend to bow. And back in the 70s and early 80s, the biggest problem in the RV industry was probably roof leaks, because eventually it just kind of became a swimming pool. So two things that really helped that situation was the crowning of the roof with the rafters and the decking and a membrane to go over it to keep the water out, and that crown itself just to get the water off gravitationally, if you will. So those things have really brought the industry forward with regard to roofing. Over the years, we've started with the EPDM. We've gone through some generations of TPO, and through advances in plastics engineering and rubber and the mixture of the two, hybrids if you will, comes our Superflex product. This is probably the 5th membrane that we've dealt with over the years, and these are some of the advantages of it. This product here is 50% lighter than EPDM. Rubber roofing is very heavy, so on a big 70-foot unit, we used to have about 70 pounds of membrane. Now these days you probably have about 36 pounds. With the breaks and contours in the roof, this product is stretchable. As they install the product, you can get these contours that you have on these roofs and get it installed wrinkle-free. This product is colored all the way through. We have a white, beige, gray, and I think we're coming out with kind of an almond, light yellow kind of color. And on the back of this sheet, you can see a picture of what happens to a rubber roof over the years. And what happened, commercial roofing, most of the roofing historically has been black. The membranes today, well, this membrane was called a bilaminate system that we used to sell from Firestone. And it was white on top and it had black on the bottom. And the black membrane was really inexpensive and kind of helped keep the cost down, to be honest. But what would happen over years is EPDM naturally chalks, sheds, if you will. So over years, if you kept the unit, it was a 10, 12-year warranty. If you had it 15, 20 years, you might see it starting to turn black because the whites just kind of shed it off over the years. With the advances in membrane roofing technologies, that is no longer the case. You really don't have this chalking, as it's called, shedding. Kind of a more better description of what actually happens. So that's some of the advances in the industry as well. With regard to that is the puncture and tear resistance are very similar to that of EPDM. You don't have the mold and algae buildup on these membranes like you did with the EPDM. Down in Florida, mold really tends to, or down south I should say, mold really tends to grow easily on EPDM membranes compared to our Superflex membrane. The texture of this material is a hair cell texture. As you stand, and I say this because I'm in these factories every day, so I'm more of an OEM guy, if you will, and I've seen a gazillion installations. But as you sit and look over the roof, this texture just makes everything appear a little more smoother, like a very hair cell fiberglass just kind of hides some of the imperfections that may be what's below it. button the decking together up there and all these kind of things. It just helps hide that a little bit. With regard to repair, you can heat weld this product. And that's because of the plastic content in this material. The advances in TPOs and polyolefins, which are the material, polypropylenes that are the blend plastics that are in here. And in short, what you can do is get, or a dealer can do, is get like a heat gun from Lowe's that'll go up to 700-800 degrees and put it between the two surfaces like this. I'm doing this faster than you would do it, or a dealer would do it. And go like this, and you can literally melt the two surfaces together. With the EPDM systems, as well as this, there really is more of an old-fashioned bicycle inner tube patch and repair type method, but the thermoplastic advantages of this membrane and melting one into the other, there's really a neat way to fix it compared to the old patch process, which some consider quite ugly.
Now, are you talking about patching a hole or a separation?
A hole, or a cut, or a tear of some sort,
So
yes.
So you buy a new piece of this and then you just melt it in?
Correct.
To the roof?
Correct.
So you can buy 1x1 squares, or you have to buy like...
Yeah, that's true. We do sell kits at Alpha. We just started a relationship with Camping World. I'm not really involved in that per se, but that is a new outlet for us nationally.
How about Tierra, the people that just spoke?
Met the guy today.
Fair enough.
So, that is a great way to patch and repair the material. As far as maintenance on the roof, 3-4 times a year, get up there, check the condition of the roof, check for dirt, check for seal voids. We can touch on the sealant here for a minute. I think it's important. And we have a full lab at Alpha. We manufacture these adhesives and these sealants that are part of the system at Alpha Systems in Elkhart, Indiana. And there's all kinds of sealants out there. You know, we've all heard the buzzword silicone, and back in the 80s, everybody went to silicone, and what happened was people would pull, like a year later, they would just pull a whole strip, like a rope, of silicone off the side of their unit. Well, the problem with these moisture cure, acidic cure, 21st century technology sealants, they'll last for 200 years, but the biggest problem is they don't stick to everything. And adhesion is paramount to create a positive seal. So the sealants that are used with this are solvent-based, more of a 20th century technology, but the beauty of this product is several things. Number one, on that roof surface, you have 8 different materials: polycarbonate skylight, painted metal molding, the thermoplastic superflex membrane, polypropylene roof vents, galvanized vent flanges, galvanized antenna flanges, and a myriad of other things. So adhering to all these surfaces is the hardest part for any sealant. And a lot of the silicones, urethanes, products that you would use to maybe have what you may think is a better seal, they're just not going to adhere. They're not going to stick. And again, without that adhesion, you have no seal. Also, so the limitation with these products, to be very candid, is they stick to everything, but they don't have the joint movement capability a lot of other 21st century urethane silicone products do, which they would all need some sort of primer to get them adhered to all these different surfaces. And you would have to keep the primer on some surfaces and not on others, and it gets very confusing. This product you can put on everything and it will adhere to everything. It just doesn't have the joint movement capability that a lot of other products, newer technology products, have, but it adheres to everything. So that's why we ask you to go up on the roof several times a year and look for seal voids. Unlike those other sealants, the beauty of this sealant is, if you do have a seal void, you can take it, maybe clean up the sealant a little bit with a mild detergent soap, Palmolive, Dawn, whatever, and you can apply the sealant right over itself. It will adhere to itself, again, unlike those other products. So it's a very functional product in the roof system that, in adhering to these membranes, is almost a trick. These are very difficult to adhere to. I've spent 30 years in the adhesive and sealant business, and the beauty of this 12-year warranty in this system is not only do we know that all these interacting components work together, but they also are compatible with the membrane, won't eat it, won't cause it damage, and the products just work.
So what is this sealant now?
We call it Alpha Seal, and there's a self-leveling and non-sag version of that product. Self-leveling flows out a little bit. That's a good application for anything on top of the roof. And along the side rail where the roof wraps around and tucks back behind that side rail there is a good place to use the non-sag sealant. And you can caulk that right along there and it'll just kind of stay there.
So you're recommending on the top?
Use the self-leveling.
Use the self-leveling
Yes, sir.
and the sides, of course, you don't want it running down.
Correct. That's why it's a non-sag. Yes, sir.
On your repair, is that considered, do you consider that a permanent repair or just a temporary fix?
No, it's permanent repair.
It is?
Yeah, you go on right on down the road and it's going to work. This membrane has an excellent UV package system. God, I'm glad you said that. It's kind of made me think of something else. There's all these RV coatings at all these stores. None of them have ever been sent to our lab. None of them, we've never done any compatibility testing with these miracle coatings that are out there, and it doesn't need a coating. I mean, you kind of treat it like a white wall. Get up there a couple, 3 times a year with some spick and span, brush it, hit it with a power washer or a hose, rinse it off, it'll just work. Sir?
How do you tell on your rig, depending on the age, of course, what type of membrane material you have?
I believe,
Now, obviously, if you're going to do a repair, you need to match the repair kit to the type of material that's on your.
that's correct. And normally, if anyone calls Alpha and asks us, we can tell you who we sold and when we sold it. You know, when it was, what time period it was produced with, or during, I should say. But that is an excellent question. And if you call Crossroads, they're probably going to give you our number. And we have a very competent lady that's been at Alpha over 10 years, ex-military, sharp as a cat. And she can tell you what membrane was on what unit and what years. Does that answer your question?
I think so. I mean, if you kind of just, if Redwood could kind of tell us at what time did they start switching to Alpha from whatever the previous product was.
Right.
That's kind of what you need to know and say, okay, yeah, I know
Right.
my unit will fall in this category.
I believe Alpha Systems has always supplied Redwood with their roofing membrane.
Okay. So they thought there was one.
Yeah, when this company when this division first started, I actually handled that plan. I don't these days. There's another gentleman that does, but as far as I know, we've always had a business. Sir.
Are we able to buy the sealant directly from you, or do we have to go to some type of dealer? My problem's been, this is my second Redwood, and when I've tried to go to a dealer, I've been all over the states, they don't carry your product.
Well,
They don't carry it.
and that's true. And our competitor has probably done a better job in the aftermarket than we have. Maybe our focus has been a little too OEM over the years, taking care of the manufacturer. But over the last few years, we take credit cards at Alpha now. You can call up there, buy anything from Alpha, give them a credit card number, and we'll ship it right from Alpha to you. But more on a national scale, the relationship with Camping World is probably going to change all that, in my opinion. Just we're going to be, at least at all the Camping Worlds around the country, much less anybody else that carries that product. Sir.
If you use Dicor on your roof, you just take it off.
Well, and you know, seal, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a really good question. If he wants to know if they use the Dicor sealant, my competitor, on my roof, you know, what are the ramifications? And to answer your question honestly, you know, if you're the original coach owner, which is all kind of part of the warranty, and you're going to apply some sealant to it, you should use ours. But if you're the second coach owner, that's kind of where the warranty ends. If you're the original coach owner, you should use our products. If it's the second or the third, I mean, their product will adhere to our membrane and our sealant will adhere to theirs. That's what we determined in our lab.
Question.
Yes?
About, I don't know, 16 months ago, it was probably February of last year, we started out and we had a slight scrape on the edge of the roof with a live oak tree down in Florida. Peeled back about 4 feet of it, so we went to call course, for our insurance company and Crossroads and everything. And Camping World put a new roof on.
Whole new roof.
Yeah,
Okay.
they said they couldn't repair it, they had to put a whole new roof on. And of course, they didn't do a real good job because it's got the sprinkle in it. But that aside, would they have used this same material? I think it was approved.
When was this?
It would have been February or March of last year.
The relationship between our two companies has really just started as far as getting product into their stores over the last few months.
Now, I called them with a question on exactly what they had put on there, and I never got a reply from Camping World.
I see.
I'm just wondering, I need to get back to them. How do you suggest they go back to their corporate headquarters and see if they can track that back, see what they actually put on? I mean, I would assume.
What, roof membrane?
Yeah, I would assume they took the original,
Yeah, and
OEM
I don't
roof
know.
back on.
My competitors had their business for a long time, but that doesn't mean that they didn't go back, research whose roof it was, get it from them, and put it on. So I really don't know. And you know, was your 4 or 5 foot tear right along the edge
Yeah.
on that radius cap that goes on that edge? I mean, I don't think you would need a new roof. You probably could have got a 5, 6 foot piece.
Well, I was thinking it was a patch, but they ended up putting a whole new roof on.
I mean, this material could be glued to that cap.
Now,
And-
of course, we had, our insurance paid for most of it.
Sure.
So I don't know what their arrangement was.
Yeah.
But I was just wondering about.
You know,
what
the
was
nice
going on.
the nice thing about a new roof is, you know, you don't have any seams or patches
Yeah.
for a potential leak. And every patch job you do, you still want to caulk around the perimeter of that patch. And unlike these patches, go back to your question, you know, you really don't want to have any points. You always want to kind of round every corner. The sealants temporarily kind of wrinkle the membrane as they're curing. Solvents swell the membrane. As those sealants dissipate into the air, the membrane settles back down. So when you have pointed quarters, it just tends to pick up a lot easier, as opposed to having an oval or a round patch. Or a rounded off square patch. Anybody else? Nope. Thank you. You're welcome to take all the information you need here.
Oops. Had the wrong camera on.